is nothing that I cannot do because I got the power to make mountains move. Anything that comes my way can't stop me cause I'm on my way. All I gotta do is open up my mouth and say I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can. Yes, I can. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide, no, no. Yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. 'Cause I can do anything.
Hello, I'm Antoine and you're watching yet another episode of Bashful TV. And today I have an esteemed honor to interview the creator and executive producer of the web series Bashful, the man himself, Mr. Marq Lipsey. Mark.
Antoine.
So I don't know how I'm going to get through this because there's so many things we can talk about. You know, we have a lot of discussions about a lot of different things. What inspired you to create Bashful?
Well, this story is kind of melancholy just a little bit because I thought I was dying last year. Like in April of last year, like somewhere around the 1st of April, I started getting this lightheaded and dizziness that nobody could tell me what it was. I was going to every doctor, every specialist. They sent me to everybody you could name, and nobody in Memphis can tell me what was wrong with me.
Oh, wow.
So I thought I was dying. So I was just like, you know what? I got some stuff I got to get out of my head. I got to get this story out of my head so that if I die, my son and my grandkids can have something they can try to make some money off of. So that was kind of what kind of inspired me. But I always wanted to write something that was going to be reflective of the LGBT community and the black community. So that was why I wrote Bashful.
So would you say this was a cathartic project for you?
Oh, let me tell you, it really was the healing process because by the time I started writing and finished writing, I was a lot better. My health was a lot better. I was no longer having the attacks. I was having these extreme heart palpitations as well. But once I was done with the project and I had got people on board to do it and everything like that, my sickness was gone. So what I realized was I was very stressed out.
You developed some amazing characters with this show. Which one is most like you?
Well, I don't know if you knew this. Your character is actually me.
No!
But however, each of these characters elicits some type of attribute that I have. But more so your character and Bash. Than anything. I was just too old to play Bash. If I could, if I could play Bash, I would have been Bash. Wow. And I would have got me some of that hair too.
Beyond just Bashful, obviously, this is really kind of who you are as a person, though. You're all about the empowerment of black people. You love LGBT people. Have this project been open an opportunity for you to fall more in love with yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something. One thing about this project is it's going to help to bridge this gap that we have between the black community and the LGBT community. But at some point we have.
It's kind of weird because you almost said like it's black and white.
All right, you see, and that's the thing, because at some point we have to understand that we're more alike and we have more in common than we don't, and that sometimes causes the problem between the black community and the black LGBT community, which is a very difficult space to be in, because it's like, me, I'm very pro-black. I don't believe in a lot of the ideologies that we subscribe to,
right.
Because of the whiteness and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm very pro-gay as well. So when I'm with my gay friends, I'm too black for them, and when I'm with my black friends, I'm too gay for them. So I think that Bashful is really trying to shed light on that disconnect between those two communities. The gay community is one of the communities out there that is seeing their progress, with the shutting down of the marriage, last year. But we are seeing it, whereas black people have seen it, but it happened in a day where I think people feel like the black struggle is over. But see, gay people are seeing it, and we're funneling it through all these different channels with media, social media, mainly. But however, what we have to realize is that, like I just said a minute ago, is that we're more alike than we are different. And once we get get to know how we're alike and what we have in common, and what things we can do together. Because when you come together, you can just throw more stones than you can with one person.
That's power in numbers.
Yes, very much so. And I think that we don't understand our strength in unity. And I think that the gay community really could be an asset to the black community, because I think, like I said earlier, I believe rather that black people believe that the struggle is over, and it's not over. We have to struggle every day. Black lives do matter, and we got to make sure that we understand that. But black gay lives matter too.
Right.
But somehow our straight brethren somehow believe that because of whatever Christian ideologies or Muslim, whatever religious ideologies they subscribe to, that the gay man doesn't have any rights or privileges. And
so is it safe to say that you feel that LGBT black men and women, Q, transgender, however they identify, one would identify, have been ostracized from the black community?
Oh, absolutely, because in the wake of transgender bathrooms and gender non-specific categories, people not wanting to conform to being called he or him or she or her, the black community is one of those forces against, versus when we know what the struggle is like to be other, why in essence would we want to oppress? We become self-oppressed because of the self-loathing that has been passed down through us through residual forms of oppression, a very particular disease or dis-ease, if you will, in this world that we live in. Because once we name whiteness, now everything else had to have a color and a pattern and an ideology. But whiteness is one of the most villainous things that have ever happened to us in this country, in this world rather. People think that whiteness equates to white people, but it doesn't. Whiteness is a state of mind. And it comes from, because what you could have based on whatever country you live in, where we're going to say continent. Because you go with Europe, the first terrorist, and I know I'm going to get a little flack for that, but don't forgive me for where I'm going with this. Y'all should read some James Baldwin and watch some James Baldwin before you attack me, though. But, they wanted to move away from Europe where they were being oppressed, and they came here and did it to people.
Wow.
And so, now that oppression is being trickled down from the oppressor to the oppressed, and the oppressed are becoming the oppressor.
Wow.
To the oppressed.
So would you say heterosexual black Americans are being oppressive to LGBT?
Absolutely. A lot of our heterosexual brethren and sisters are coming to the forefront and understanding that oppression is oppression. If you're progressive and you're enlightened, then you should know that these rights that gay people want are just the rights that everybody in the world wants.
So does Bashful have an opportunity, or will Bashful have an opportunity to help people who may not understand the gap between heteronormativity and the LGBT community? Oh yeah. Will you bring that together?
Absolutely. But I think that if they do not reject it, because Bash is not subtle at all. He says it. He comes out and says, and which you should see when we finish this conversation with him and his mama, you're going to see that he just comes out and says it. He doesn't care about hurting your feelings. Of course, if he feel like he has hurt your feelings, he'll apologize. But he's very unapologetic when it comes to heteronormativity, misogynistic ways, whether someone can be gender non-specific, whatever the plight is, Bash is there for it. Whether it's kids, whether it's elderly people, because we got all kinds of isms, ageism, sexism, racism, whatever it is, Bash will fight for it. And so I hope people get a chance to embrace what Bash is trying to get us to see, because these heteronormative ideologies that are in place and that have been in place for quite some time are very oppressive. Whatever I identify is my struggle in life. So you should not be trying to force your ideologies and place your assumptions and norms on me. I get to do that for myself.
Speaking of force, I mean, definitely in the same realm, there's been some really interesting critiques of the show Bashful, to say the least. And a lot of
keep them coming though, because I don't mind.
A lot of people want to force their opinions into what they feel the show can be, but how do you address what the show will be and why?
So if you tell me you hate Bashful, I love you. Hate it all you want. My old cast, I would never take anything away from. I still love every person who was a part of that cast. But however, my new cast, these guys are working diligently around the clock. I'm talking about sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and have to go to work and churning out these episodes. And so for the commentary to be the acting isn't as good and blah blah blah. Okay, if you say it one time, okay, fine. But if you keep being repetitive with it, it burns me up.
It's just a damn.
It burns
talking
me
about your child.
Yeah, because Bashful, the storyline is like my baby, and the actors are like my baby. So it really does something to me when like I said, you love or hate it, but when you start speaking on the acting or the actor's abilities, that really churns my butter.
There's been a lot of positive feedback. What's been your most proud moments of positive feedback?
Oh my goodness, there's been so much. But this one commenter, I wish I could remember his name, but he says for the longest all he did was search Netflix and Hulu and these kinds of venues for Black LGBT material, and he says, "Wow, you did it. This is it." Because I think what Bashful offers is something a little bit different. Don't get me wrong, I love the triangles, the free falls, and all of these. I watch them all. So we support all of the LGBTQIA web series, the Realize. We have boy drama. One of my favorite new ones is Love at First Night. Like, they're all great. And by the way, the gentlemen who do Love at First Night, they posted our short film on their website, Architect, wow, as well as the first 2 episodes of Bashful. So make sure you support ArtQTech. That's ARTKUTEC.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Our film is being compared to Noah's Ark. Would you take that as a compliment or what? Oh,
let me tell you, I take it as a compliment, because Noah's Ark did something for the LGBT community, and I would like to say it was just Black LGBT, but they did something for the whole community. What it did was offer something that wasn't seen in mainstream at all. Like, we wanted something like that, and it finally came through. And to see those men all beautiful in their own ways.
I mean, they changed the scene.
They changed the entire game.
It's a great comparison. I mean, with that, I'm okay with that. Patrick Ian Pope, by the way, who produced that show. Why do we need to stay committed to the show? Why is it so important to our community right now?
We need to stay committed to it because you can talk to your blue in the face to people about things that are going on in the community, things that are going on in the world, society. But however, when you give them something that they can sink their teeth into, they'll accept it, embrace it more. And we got to keep them laughing. That's one of the things that they've been telling me. That some of these one-liners we got, they live for them. And one thing my mentor, Omowale Akintunde, who is also an Emmy Award-winning director, producer, he says to me, he said, you know what you do? You know how you get people to listen to what you want them to say? I was like, how? Because I've been trying to get people to listen to me all my life. He said, you make them laugh. And when they mouth open laughing, you stick the truth down their throat.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad that you brought up your mentor's name. You also have another name that a lot of us know you by.
Yes. So I'm also an author. We haven't mentioned that, but in my 3rd book, I've already changed my name, even though I haven't changed it legally, to Abidemi Kayode. And if you are a subscriber, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to Abidemi Kayode Films. So Abidemi means he who was born in the absence of a father, and then Kayode means he who brings joy. So I think that sums me up.
I think I love it. We're going to wrap it here today. And again, I'm just so happy to have had the opportunity to speak with Marq. And Marq is going to be back. We got a whole lot to talk about. I'll be back. So stay tuned. I'm Antoine Dandridge, and Marq and I are signing out on Bashful TV.